И теперь с большим удовольствием предоставляем слово Филиппу Крозофону. Он врач-хирург из Франции, большой друг Алкона, большой друг России. Часто у нас выступает, даже оперировал у нас когда-то в нашей клинике. И он поделится своим опытом использования системы Верион, персонализация констант для достижения оптимального рефракционного результата. Филипп всегда использует новейшие технологии. Вот эта презентация, первый раз такую вижу.
Yes, I'm very happy one more time to be in Russia. For me, Russia is part of Europe. I'm going to show you what is real life experience. You're going to see a kind of suite that starts with the Varian reference unit, and you will see two paths. The one you use when you don't have the laser is when you use the standard phaco. The second path, the one I use the most, is the one when you use the laser and go directly to the Varian M. But when Alcon started to promote the Varian, they were saying plan, guide, and no, you calculate, plan, and guide. But what I discovered after almost 4 years of experience with the Varian is that now I can optimize my results. So let's go to the journey. I've always dreamed to be a pilot and to use head-up display. Here we are. Now I feel like a jet fighter pilot when I do cataract surgery. So I am a consultant for Alcon in research and development. You have to know that. So it all starts with the image plan and optimized system where I use the reference unit. As Mario said, you have to capture an image and then you have to calculate what you are going to do. There is nothing better than to see a video. This is the way it works in my office. My assistant, she captures. The system is directly linked to the biometer. We got the reference unit, and then we can use any formula we want. And then it's the thing which is wonderful is that you can mix toric and laser refractive incision. You just move a cursor, and then you will have two ways to correct the astigmatism if you got the laser. Once you have done that, you take your USB key. Here is an example where I blend using the laser. I'm using a toric, a low toric, and LRI. This is very fast. This is my standard plan when I use the laser. It's important for me that when you use a laser, you got the Varian L. For me, the Varian L is part of the laser. So you will see that everything has been centrated by the Varian L. You save a lot of time using this, and then you got wonderful results with perfect laser refractive incision. So, two paths, standard phaco, Varian reference unit, and you go to Varian M. If you have a laser, reference unit, Varian L, and then Varian M. This thing, so in your USB key, you have the reference image and the surgery plan. You arrive to the laser, which will be guided by the Varian, and you have to see it with image. You choose the patient, you have your surgery plan, and then you have to do a pre-doc registration, because there are two cyclorotations. One when the patient is laying down, and when he receives the docking. Once you have had the pre-doc image, the machine is waiting for that, and then it will correct the cyclic rotation you have with the pressure of the docking. And then it becomes magic, because you will see image you have never seen before. You will see on this video how the variant L position and centrate the axis, corrects the cyclic rotation, and does everything for you, and you save 1 minute because you don't have any more to reposition your incision or your axis on the laser. How does that work? As Maria said, you have two images, and the laser, the variant L, in fact, will mix the two images in order to correct two cyclic rotations. But you have to know that the laser does only three things: anterior capsulotomy, lens fragmentation, and incisions. It's totally different from standard phaco. It's very fast, and I think it will be the future of all of our surgery. But the problem is that you have to think about a lot of different parameters. The energy you will use on different tissues, the size of the spot separation, and the layer separation. It has taken us 3 years to discover what were the good parameters. When we start using the laser, we were using 15 millijoules. Now we never go over 5 millijoules. We discovered that it was much better to use a matrix pattern with a big fragmentation. We use 3 plane starting incisions and 1 plane trapezoidal. Do I lose time? In fact, my operation room flow is not affected. You will see that we save a lot of time because this is almost the only laser which has the mobile gantry that favors the use of mobile beds. You don't have to ask the patient to stand up and go to the OR. And it could be very fast. This is my normal speed of surgery. I don't lose any time. We have a lot of safety rules in France. You will see that we are obliged to clean the room between each patient. It's what they call a civilized country. So I can do, because of rules, I'm not allowed to do more than 3 patients an hour, so I don't lose time. Once I have that on my key, I have the reference image, the surgery plan, and the laser treatment data. And you will see this is very important to optimize. If you don't have a laser, you go directly from the reference unit with the reference image, the surgery plan, and you go to the variant M. And this variant M will guide the alignment of concentration of the incision, of the capsular axis, and of the IOL. So you will have a wonderful image. You can set up your doctor position. You can adapt the centration with different parameters, pre-op pupil or limbus, anything you want. You can choose that. And in the OR, you see exactly what you do. You have the different steps of the surgery. Here you see, you can check the capsulotomy. You can check the incisions. And once you have removed the rexis, you will see how fast I am doing phaco. It's done. And now I can align my IOL very precisely. And the thing which is nice is that every step of the variant M are controlled by the centurion. You see that every time I move, you will see I don't have to not even look at the variant if I am in the good position. Every time I switch, I push on the foot pedal of the machines, the variant is guided by Wi-Fi. But this is not the most important part of the system. Yes, this surgery is very, very safe. It's efficient. I've been using it for more than 4 years now, and you will see that it has changed my practice. Because once you have done all of that, you have to bring the key, the USB key, back to the reference unit. And then you can optimize and analyze your results. Not only you can optimize your A constant, but you can also optimize your surgically induced astigmatism. Let's have a look at just at the last 96 patients. Here we have the A constant we used before, and you will see that with time, when you add more patients post-op, your A constant is totally different. And it does affect your results about metropia, because you can see that for each formula, you will have your standard deviation in front of post-op emetropia, and you could see that I will be very happy if everybody could add only 10% of their patient over alpha diopter of standard emetropia. And this is very important when you want to use toric lens and especially multifocal IOLs. Here is my experience. I start FLACS, femtolaser assisted surgery, in 2011. I had a learning curve of 3 months like everybody. And then in 2012, I was using LensX only in 40% of my case, and ATIOL 65%. 2013, I was increasing everything. And in year 2014, I was using 30% of T2, very low astigmatism, to get these good results. And then in 2015, I start LOI, corneal refractive incision. And in my practice has totally changed, because now I'm up to 96% of FLACS. I'm doing less T2, but the results are so good with laser refractive incision that I'm up to 37% of LOI. So I'm going to show you my standard technique. 5 minutes and I finish. This is real life. The laser is done. It's not a soft cataract. You just have to dissect the incision. This is not a knife, it's a spatula. I use much less viscoelastic than before. One of my secrets to keep the pupil dilated is to use epinephrine mixed with lidocaine. I use a viscoelastic just to remove the bubbles. I dissect the primary incision. This is the matrix pattern. This is a dream. You don't have any more to think about your capsulorhexis. I've done thousands of capsulorhexis. I have a laser in France. I don't have a laser in Italy. I'm still very anxious when I go to do surgery in Italy because I don't have the laser. Hydrodissection is much more easier than when we start with the laser, because as we reduce the energy, we have much less bubble. And I almost don't use sculpting because my nucleus is divided. I just test how hard is the nucleus, and thanks to this new splitter, I can separate without doing any shopping. And my average CD, you will see, let's say up to a grade 3 cataract, is almost never over 2 seconds of ultrasound. Less ultrasound means less post-op inflammation and less surgical induced astigmatism. And you see that everything is controlled, and one of the big advantages of the Centurion is that I'm using a very low intraocular pressure. It's important, if you want to keep the pupil dilated, not to have a chamber which is not stable. The best way to keep a pupil well dilated is to have always the same pressure in the eye. I use bimanual, and you can see here the laser incisions. For me, it's mandatory to reopen them at the end of the surgery. I like bimanual IA. I think it's getting more popular in Russia. Kirill, it's popular now. Yeah. Because it's much easier to use bimanual irrigation aspiration for the laser treatment, because the cortex tends, with the pressure of the laser, to have a stronger adherence to the bag. You can do any comments because we need 2 more minutes. And you see that I kept my pupil dilatation thanks to the epinephrine, which was mixed with the lidocaine. Here, because I have used monofocal, because I have used correction of the astigmatism by the laser, I can use the Varian just to check the centration, and my CD has remained very low. Thank you for your attention.
Один вопрос господину Карзафону. Какую он предпочитает иголочку для работы с ядром? Новую иголочку Balance Tip или иголочку Kelman? Я переведу. What kind tips you prefer? Balance tip of?
I use the balance tip, and the secret to use the balance tip is to use a 30 degree. Don't use the 45 degree, because the balance tip is very efficient, and what you need is to get the occlusion, and it's easier to get the occlusion with the 30 degree. And also, you don't need to use too much power. I think the good power, whatever the grade is 50% of OZIL.
Thank you very much.